I'm Old Sneelock. I'm back working on the Martin house. It has dried, and due to being clamped up like this, it's dried straight. So that's a big plus. Now I need to do a little bit of measurement because I have a change in the operation, change in the plan. I originally was going to put a complete board across the bottom and have it be basically just a board across the bottom with about a ½ inch extra on the sides, and then I would make this so that it fastened down to that with some screws. But I got to looking at it and I thought, well, you know, if I take one of these boards, which is already cut to size, and cut it to the length so that it sits on the inside like this, and fills up the bottom of the birdhouse. Then I can put some screws in from the sides and fasten it in, and that will keep anything from coming out the bottom of it. And give me a good platform to fasten this down to a post or stake or whatever I intend to do with it. Still don't know about that. But that'll take just a simple cut across this. Then I have to shorten these boards up about ½ inch, the thickness of this board, so that this board can sit up inside the base. That should take care of the whole issue. At least that's the plan. making this one 3 inches up from the bottom. And since the roof of this since the roof of these side pieces stops at 5.5 inches, I added 3 inches and 5.5 inches together and came up with 8.5 for the center line for the upper opening. That way I'll have the birds coming in above the nesting material, so they'll be able to build their nest in. I wanted to have the openings above the nesting materials so that they'd be able to enter and exit easily. So this door opening is going to be 3 inches up from the bottom. The roof on the small houses to the side stops at 5.5 inches. This 5.5 inches. So I added 5.5 and 3 together, came up with 8.5 for this one. So 8.5 up from the very bottom for the top door, 3 inches up from the very bottom for the bottom door. 5 1/4. So 2 5/8 is the center line. Now the other reason I went with 3 inches is I have a knot right here. And if I tried to drill halfway through the knot's going to fall out and leave a bad hole diameter. So if I come clear down here to the bottom of this knot and I drill through it, the knot will be gone. And that'll end up with a nice door. This is going to be the outside. So I'm going to drill through from the outside into the inside. That way any tear out will happen on the inside, and this is a much nicer face. I'm not going to sand it down, I'm just going to paint it in a rough shape because this is going to be kind of a primitive birdhouse. A couple reasons for that. I sanded down the other one and it turned out fine, but it was much smaller. A lot easier to get a good piece of wood 5.5 inches long out of these boards than it is to get one 18 inches. Or, let's see exactly how long is this thing. This is 13 3/4. And I'll make up a sketch of it so you can get the dimensions off of it if anybody wants to repeat this. Not saying you have to, or even that you should, but if you wanted to, I'll mark down the dimensions and put a sketch of the birdhouse at the tail end of the finished product. I will make a sketch of the birdhouse and put the finished dimensions at the end of the final video, which is at least 2 days away. At least. You know how things go. Two 5/8. Center line of the door. 2 5/8, center line of the door. Now these holes are going to be 1.5 inches. Martins take an 1.5 inch hole. The wrens that I made the small house for, they need 1 3 inches. Wrens that I made the birds that I made the small house for, wrens, require an 1 1/8 inch hole. They're smaller and it keeps the larger birds from going in and taking their nest. So let's get this drilled, because I want to do that before I go any further with this. Drills. This is a Samson chuck, and Samson chucks are awesome. They're ball bearing chucks, so they tighten up really well. And Miller Falls does a fine job on their equipment. Okay, here we go. This is one problem that you run into when you cut through the bottom of a board. That little slug can break loose and cause your drill bit to stop drilling. Fortunately, the lips had already gone, the spurs had already gone through the board, so I did a nice clean cut. Now if all you have is a spade drill, that's what you got to use. But I prefer auger bits for cutting through wood like this because there's absolutely no tear out when you use a backer board like this. Okay, we've got 2 holes drilled, and the inboards for the small houses are done. I have to put a little glue on this one so it'll set right, and we're going to have to wait a day before this can be done. But it is what it is. I'll be able to proceed with some of the other stuff that I was going to do anyways. But plans being what they are, I could make a new board, which wouldn't take that much, but I've already got this one done, and chances are I'll have a problem with the other board too. So we're just going to go on with this one. This one is the right dimension, it's the right board, it's what I want it to be. It just needs to be glued. Let's see if I can't have that one dry at the same time the assembly's drying. Because if I can put that one in and use the birdhouse itself as the clamping fixture, then this whole operation can be done faster and easier. I'm going to drill this for the holes to fasten the base in. Okay, got that done. Now we'll drill this. mark's a little faint. Well, that should work just fine. That'll hold it in position while I glue that split. And I can glue these into the sides and they should work just fine. Yeah, that's going to be great. Okay. Dry fit's done. Let's little piece of nylon. The glue won't stick to it and it'll make a nice backer to hold that thing straight. There. Okay, this is ready to go together. I still have some cutting and fitting to do on this slope, but I think we should be okay. Now I just have to knock out that bottom piece so that everything doesn't get all warped up or glued in place where it shouldn't be. There, bottom's gone. And we are good to go. Well, it's a tough fight, but I think we got it. All the bits and pieces are going together. This is the beginning of the end of the glue up. We'll have some more fitting to do. I have to put the floor in this section, but I wanted to have this glued together, so I wasn't trying to hold the floor in place while the glue set for everything else. So this is progressing along like I want it to. Not as fast as I would like, but it's working. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. Now I gotta go get the glue off my hands.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.